My name's Danny T. from Los Angeles, and I'm an alcoholic. And this is like a real, that little spot right there, it's like everybody stares at you like, okay, tell us something, you know. I don't know anything, you know what I mean? I've been trying to tell people for 28 years, I don't know anything. You know, I just wake up in the morning and pray, and then I make it through the day with some like little steps, and I go to bed and I pray, and life's been good. You know? And really, it's like I watch people work the steps a lot better than I do. In fact, I watch people work perfect programs every time they come back. You know, you know, and for 28 years, I just been trudging along, like, you know, bumping into stuff and tripping and running to my sponsor and you know, running to the guys I sponsor and just, you know, hanging out, you know, and I have to tell you that I was voted the best hanger-outer in Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, it's what I do best. You know, if you tell me that there's a convention, cool, I'll probably be there. You know, and if you tell me that there's a dance, I'll probably be there. You know, and if you tell me, hey, we're having a function, and I'll try to make it. You know, and that's all I do. You know, I wake up in the morning and you got to remember, for some of us, waking up is a blessing. You know, I don't know how anybody drank, I don't know how anybody used, but waking up is a blessing. You know, and then when you wake up and you've got a key, that's like even more of a blessing. You know? I see some of us have woke up without keys, you know. Hey, I'm ahead of the game already, you know what I mean? You know, it's like it's, you know, I used to wake up with reveille, all inmates wishing to attend breakfast, and now I wake up, I have a 6-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son, and a 14-year-old. Usually I wake up with, Dad, cartoons are on, you know. And I watch Ren and Stimpy, you know, like first thing in the morning. It's a long way from being a tough guy, I tell you. And you know, listen. You know. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and she knows what Versace Levi's are, and I have a 8-year-old son, smarter than I am. You know, I quit arguing with him when he was 6. You know, and you know what? We went through Mexico. It was, I think it was in Arizona. Why? I mean, it was unbelievable. And it's like the first thing that he asked me was, why? I already told you, I don't know. You know? I love the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm one of them people that, like I said, I have to keep an attitude of gratitude. And really, it's pretty simple. I don't know where anybody comes from. I don't know where anybody drank, used, did whatever. It's like I know that all I have to do is remember where I came from, and I'm you know, it's like there is no such thing as being depressed. There is no such thing as being lonely. There is no such thing as being bored. And every time one of the guys that I sponsor say, I'm bored, I tell them, you know what, try 18 months in a single cell, then tell me you're bored. You know? And that, it's like, wait a minute, man. See? I'm lonely, Come on. Rocky Point, Mexico, on the Sea of Cortez. And in this program, I can do this all the time. And maybe not Rocky Point, but, we got Santa Monica. We got Phoenix, I got here the first time, 1968. I was in the penitentiary, and no, that's a lie. I got to Alcoholics Anonymous the first time in 1965, and I was a little too smart. No, wait, that's a lie. I got to Alcoholics Anonymous the first time in 1963. I was pretty sharp, really. I was a little too hip for most. No, wait, that's a lie. To be completely honest, the first time I walked into an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting was in 1959. I was triple hip, slick times about 3. I was so cool that the balls of my feet tickle me when I walk. I mean, it's like the world was kind of a drag in 1959, really. I knew answers before anybody asked any questions. I belonged to what was called the party crashing clique. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but if you have teenage sons or daughters, and if you've ever let them have like a party, and about 9 o'clock, 20 undesirables show up. That's us, That was the party crashing clique, And there was about 20 of us, about a carload. And, we were cruising around in Pacoima one Friday night. And right on the corner of Van Nuys Boulevard and Lev Street in Pacoima, there was like, 20 cars, 25 cars parked out in front of this house. And to us, that meant there's a party, a wedding or, a baptismal something. And so we stopped the car, went to the trunk of the car to get the tools necessary to crash parties. We got bumper jacks, tire irons, pieces of pipe. I had a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, a half pint of whiskey. And I can never say this. I was already loaded on Red Devils. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Red Devils. They're Seconal. And they're... when you first take them, you call them like gangster pills, gorilla biscuits. But like 2 days later, they're stupid pills, because you wake up 2 days later, and you really did some stupid stuff. But so I was taking these, along with all the booze, and we stopped the car, and I had this case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, half pint of whiskey, and I was already loaded on those, and we went to the front door. Now, when you crash a party, you can't, can we come in, because obviously you can't, And we kicked in the front door and everybody like rushed in, The first thing we saw was a big sign that said, "We care," I know. It's like... We had just crashed the Friday night speakers meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. The We Care group, See, Now, when you crash a party, there's only two greetings you can get. Period. Either everybody rushes to the opposite side of the room. That means they're willing to throw the party in your honor. Or they rush to the side of the room that you're on. Means they're not. You know, that's why we got those tire irons, pieces of pipe, bumper jacks, you know. And we got the stupidest greeting in the world. We had a whole bunch of people running up to us saying, "Hi, I'm Bob." "Hi, I'm Tom." It's hard shaking hands holding a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, half pint of whiskey. You know? Now, I knew we'd messed up, like, the minute I seen the baskets. You know, because anytime you see them baskets, it's church. And, you know, and anything in church that's any fun is a sin. You know, I know that, you know, and I immediately, like, turned around to get my troops and let's get out of here, you know, but you guys are pretty sharp. It's like you did that thing, divide and conquer, you know. I turned around, you got them all in, like, little groups of 4s. Giving them, like, 3 to 5 pitches, you know, it's, like, funny, you know? And this guy comes up to me, and he introduces himself. You know, I didn't care who he was, but he said, he whispered the curse of Alcoholics Anonymous, and once you've heard this curse, you know, it's like all over. You know, I mean, and I'm like a kid in 1959, you know, and this guy had the nerve to, like, give me the curse. It would have been great if he gave it to me at, like, 40, you know. But I'm a baby. And he says, "Hey, why don't you put that stuff outside? I got a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, half pint of whiskey, and I'm loaded on Red Devils." And this guy says, "Why don't you put that stuff outside and join us?" And I says, "Get out of here, man. I got places to go, people to see, you know." And he says, "I haven't drank in 8 years." That's a dumb thing to say to somebody holding a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, and a half pint of whiskey. Get away from me. You know, I do not want to share any booze with anybody that hasn't drank in 8 years. Catch somebody that's half drunk and give them a beer. You know? But he says, "I haven't wanted to drink in 8 years." And when he said he didn't want it, what? You know, because even young, I could never remember not wanting to drink. Well, even I couldn't remember not wanting to get drunk. And believe me, there's a big difference. There's a big difference in drinking and wanting to get drunk. You know, I think one of the reasons we see so many young people coming into Alcoholics Anonymous is because a lot of them didn't care about drinking. They wanted to get drunk, you see. And this guy starts telling me about the programs, you know. And I said, "Get away from me. You know. And I haven't wanted to drink in 8 years. Get away from me." And I start to leave. "Come on, let's get out of here." And this guy whispers the curse. Now, what I should have did when he was talking was go, "Oh, I can't hear you." You know, that's what I should have did. See? And right now, to any of you that don't, and believe me, it's like, I understand. Do you understand? I understand. God, if you don't want to hear this, because once you do, it is all over. If you hear the curse and go out there, you will remember. I still remember this guy. Do you understand? This is 1959. And I still remember this guy. I remembered this guy every time I was out there. See? This guy, I'm ready to leave. This guy says, Danny, if you leave, you will die, go insane, or go to jail. Now notice how quiet it got. See? That was the voodoo of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's all over. And if you stay, I'm going to tell you something. For them, if you stay sober, it's like, God, I heard a speaker once in Rocky. Hell, I don't know who he is. If you get drunk, I'll haunt you. You understand? This guy, every time I would hear, all right, Danny, come on out. We have the house surrounded. Die. Go insane or go to jail. I remembered him. You understand? I remembered him. Every time I'd hear like one of them bulls, bang, bang, bang them bars, die. Go insane or go to jail. Every time, wow, those red lights come on behind you, die. Go insane or go to jail. I mean, it was like the guy just cursed me. See, I mean, I tried 1959, 1963, 1965, but see, I was just too sharp. See, I was just too smart. And believe me, I've never seen anybody too dumb for Alcoholics Anonymous. Never. I've seen a whole lot of people too smart. Brilliant. Especially, see, we don't do good with cocaine addicts. Do you understand? It's like cocaine addicts have a hard time in Alcoholics Anonymous. See? Well, all the cocaine addicts are looking at him, well, he's right. Yeah. Their program's got steps. They've got little crossword puzzles there behind every one. It's like unbelievable. Coke addict got it. Yeah, but Anonymous, how many ways can we say that? No, it's God, man. It's like this program is so simple. It's hard. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like my sponsor had to give me like simple stuff. I come out of the pen in 1969. I had a year clean and sober. I cleaned up in Soledad, August 23rd. I was like totally insane. I mean, it wasn't like I was like, I wasn't even housebroke. I started going to jail and juvenile hall and camps and penitentiaries when I was a kid, and that's the way I grew up. And it's not too many people that they want to put on Antabuse in San Quentin. Something's wrong. Do you understand? I'm not even supposed to drink here. I mean, it was like all we did was stay smashed. Do you understand? That's all. All I did from the time I started drinking, I knew not. And I got to say this. I've heard people talk about, I drank for 50 years. No way. Do you understand? Every time I heard somebody say, I drank for 50 years, I'm 15 years old. And I'm saying, damn, I got 35 years left. And booze kicked my ass when I was 15. Do you understand? Booze kicked my ass. Booze beat the hell out of me when I was 14. Booze kicked the shit out of me at 13. You understand? I was done. And I come into this, I thank God. The one thing good about that first meeting, I thank God, Alcoholics Anonymous did not leave a bad taste in my mouth. Nobody said, hey, you're too young, get the piss out. Nobody. Well, of course, we had bumper jacks, tire irons, pieces of pie. Never thought of it. They were like cool. Yeah. That guy invited me back. He even said, hey, keep coming back. If you leave, see, he didn't say go. He said, if you leave. See. But I had a hard time identifying in Alcoholics Anonymous. 'Cause I really believe that there was a lot of people in AA with long social drinking careers. And then I believe that they crossed the line into alcoholism. Now, for some of us, when you say cross the line, we look, what line? What fucking line are they talking? See, because some of us started on the other side of that line. And I'll take you right now. I'll take you right now to that same alley. That same alley where we downed about 3 bottles of port. Yeah. And right now in that same alley, I show you these kids, 9, 10, 11 years old, with that paint, you know. I don't think there's anything like social paint using. I don't know. See? I'll show you the same people trying to, 15, 16, 13 years old, trying to suck down that wine. See? But I come into Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm hearing these people talk about everything they had. Hell, I drank for 50 years. I had a car, a boat, a cabin in Mammoth. I'm sitting there 15 years old. I never been out of Pacoima. See? And the Mammoth was a hairy elephant. I was drinking scotch. And from scotch, I went to bourbon. I think that's a step down. I don't know. Got me, man. From bourbon, I went to beer. Lost all my material wealth. I ended up drinking wine. I'm sitting there, okay, what's your point? Is there a point there? Here comes somebody else. I drank for 60 years. Damn. I'll die. See? Because it kicked my ass at 15. See? And I was drinking scotch, and from scotch I went to bourbon, and from bourbon I went to beer. I ended up drinking wine in the morning in an alley. That's where I ended up. Everybody... I'm sitting there, screw you. I started drinking wine in the morning in an alley. What are you talking about? That's where I started. That's where I stayed. Never got out of that damn alley. To this day, I'll take you to that same alley and we'll pull up next to them kids. We'll lower the window in the Cadillac. We'll tell them, hey, you guys are going to miss out on your car, your boat, your cabin, all that shit. See? I got my first job, 1959, in Alcoholics Anonymous. See? Never had a job. Do you understand? Never. See? And people were talking about, I lost all my material wealth. Works in the garment industry. I don't know what the hell that was. See? But here's on then. So when I got here young. I grew up in Alcoholics Anonymous. I grew up bouncing in and out. The only problem is that I hear people talk about I had a slip. Thursday. But thank God I made it to the Rocky Point Roundup on Friday. In 1959, I had a slip. I got out in 1963. In 1963, I had another little slip. Got out in 65. In 1965, I had another little slip. Got out in 1969. I decided, wait a minute, there's something the matter with my slips. See? And then I die, go insane, or go to jail. You know what I mean? See? The guy that can make it back on Friday after slipping on Thursday, he didn't hear the curse. I heard the curse. Shit. Damn old man, if he was still alive, I'd beat him up. So for me, this thing is it's not a toy. It's not a play. It's like a way of life. Alcoholics Anonymous is absolutely my way of life. Everything good that has ever come out of my life has been through Alcoholics Anonymous. Everything. You understand? My life started in 1968. I was still in the penitentiary and things got better. You know what I mean? I was in the penitentiary. I got nominated, voted president. I forget what I was. Something of Alcoholics Anonymous in the pen. You know? It's just because I had the most friends. You know? And I'm walking around the penitentiary with like, hey, you know, and I'm chairman of this, and I got out in '69. You know? And it's unbelievable. You know, it's like I get out in 1969, August 23rd, August. I come out of the penitentiary, and you have to understand, I wasn't like a model prisoner, or you know, I mean, I'm the guy. I got sent to the joint on a 90-day observation, and I did 3.5 years. That should tell you something, you know, and you know, you know, I was studying to be a journeyman convict. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you here on 90 days? How long you been here? 3 years. You know, like, somebody's math was screwed up somewhere. You know? And in 1969, I come out of the penitentiary. I called this guy Frank Russo, and I always say that because he told me never to mention his name. And you know what it's like to come pick me up. You know, he said, "Where are you at?" I said, "The bus brought me to San Fernando." You know, and I'm standing in San Fernando, and he said, "Wait right there till I get there." But then he knows me. Thank God he knows me, because he goes, "No, here, wait. Talk to my wife till I get there." You know, and you know, I'm on the phone with this girl. You know. So, you ever been in San Quentin? I got nothing to say. What am I going to say? My partner, my friend's old lady, so I can't. Oh, what are you wearing? You know, I can't. You know, you know, so this guy comes, picks me up. He picks me up in a 1966 Ford Mustang. I'll never forget. He picks me up, wow, and pulls up in front. You know? And I remember looking in the back seat, because in the back seat there was like 2 sleeping bags, a Coleman stove, a Coleman lantern, and you know, camping stuff. You know, and I asked him, "What's up with the camping stuff?" You know, he said, "Me and the old lady were going camping, but you know, we can go to this meeting, we can go to that meeting." And I kind of, what about the camping? You know what I mean? I didn't understand. You know. And so, you know, we go and we're going to go to this meeting and that meeting. And when we got to his house, I remember his old lady was kind of pissed, you know. She was kind of hot, you know, kind of mad, angry, you know. And I kind of asked, you know, like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, and he says, she wanted to go camping. And I kind of thought about that, and I said, "Hey, what'd you tell her?" Because I didn't, you know. He says, "I told her she could go camping by herself. I want to go to this meeting and that meeting." Yeah. And I got to thank that guy. See? Because if that guy would have went camping, I wouldn't be here. I'm going to tell you that right now, man. And I mean that from both my standpoint and so when you know, when your old lady says, "Hey, I got to go pick up this newcomer," you know, it's like, you know, I got to be able to say, "Wait a minute. I gotta go here," you know, because you know, I mean, that's the way this program works. And me and this guy started going to meetings, and you know, that's all we did. We went to meetings, and I remember the first time I asked about an inventory. I said, "Frank, how do you work an inventory?" And he said, "It's in the book." About 4 days later, he asked me, "How you doing with that inventory?" I said, "I don't know any Mrs. Jones." He says, let's go to another meeting, Danny. We went to another meeting. You know. And we went to meetings. I found out how to do that inventory. I found out how to work them steps. And good things came to pass. And it's like every time somebody calls my house, you know. It's funny, I started a career, you know. I mean, somebody called my house. I spoke at a Cocaine's Anonymous meeting in 1985. And this kid that I had absolutely nothing in common with. I mean, this kid, he couldn't have been from a neighborhood near my neighborhood, you know. And about 18 years old. I mean, this kid could not have been, he definitely couldn't have been in any jail that I was in, you know, or they definitely would have changed his name. And I finished talking, and he comes up and he's talking about that he just hit the bottom. Do you understand? I'm on the bottom. I've got 8 days sober, and I don't know what to do, and I'm clean. And he's talking about hitting the bottom, and I'm looking at his wrist, and he's got about a $3,000 Rolex watch on, and I'm watching it. I asked him, did you tell anybody you were going to talk to me? He goes, no. Well, let's go outside. No, I'm kidding. But I don't like him. It's like all of a sudden I forgot. You understand? I forgot what I had to do. See? I'm looking at this $3,000 Rolex watch this kid's talking about. Talking about hitting the bottom. I'm trying to tell him, go hawk the watch, punk. But I didn't, and I forgot that I had to, learn how to identify on this program. And there was a couple of things that, complete abstinence. That's the identification that I had. Because believe me, it was real hard for me to identify with somebody with anything but a parole, really, and this guy, it's like, I gave him my phone number, a kid here, he had 8 days clean, and I gave him my phone number, and I almost said don't call, but I didn't. But a couple months later, in fact 100 days, because I remember he told me he had 180 days, he called, and all I heard on my phone was, hello? And do you want me to get naked? I didn't know what he was like. I didn't know what kind of phone call this was going to be, And he said, I feel like getting loaded, And I say, hey, who is it? And he tells me, and I remembered him. He says, I have 108 days, and I says, okay, what's wrong, And he says, I feel like getting loaded, and pretty serious about it, and I just said, well, come on over, it's 11:30 at night, and we can watch Johnny Carson together, and 1985, and he says, I can't, I'm working, and he says, can you come down here? And why me? Why me? They call Wayne or Eric, and it's strange. This guy is like, he was saying with that desperation that we've all had. If you're still here, and I wanted to talk to him for a little while on the phone, and then kind of say, now you'll be okay, but it's like I kept seeing that camping gear, you know what I mean? And why did it have to be? I wish they would have had a double sleeping bag, because then I could have said, well, just he was going. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. It was it was like 2 sleeping bags. So. And I said, what's the address? and it was his job. And are you sure your boss won't get mad? He goes, no, come on down. I go down there. I go down to his job. His job was the movie set, A Runaway Train. He was an extra, and I showed up, and he was like, he was happy to see me, and we went around and we introduced ourselves to everybody, and they asked me if I wanted to be in a movie. You want to be in a movie? And I said, what do I have to do? And they said, you want to be an extra? And I said, an extra what? This other guy asked me, can you act like a convict? I mean, I almost thought God was joking. You understand? And I told this guy, hey, I'll give it a shot. It's like, and they give me a pair of them blue pants, the California State Department of Correction pants. I really believe that my body was used for the model on those. I can fit them perfect. Any size, don't matter. I look good in them. And they give me a blue shirt. I have a tattoo this big on my chest. Right? Now, some tattoos say, I was in the Marines. Other tattoos says, hey, I was in the Army. Other tattoos say, I love America. I love my mother. This one says, I was in the penitentiary. It's very simple, you know what I mean? Mexican in the penitentiary. Simple, you know what I mean? And this guy says, leave your shirt off. So I'm standing there without a shirt. This guy walks up to me and says, your name's Danny. I said, yeah. He says, I saw you fight in Clinton. And I says, yeah. He said, yeah, I won the lightweight and the welterweight title up there. He says, hey, you want a job? I says, I got one. They're going to give me $50 for acting like a convict. He says, no, we need somebody to train one of the actors how to box. I says, what's it pay? He says, told me what it paid. I says, how bad you want this kid beat up? You know what I mean? Shit. I'll beat him up then write about it. I did it again. I'm sorry. And wow. Holy. He goes, no, it's a pretend he fights. Just fake it. So cool. So I said, all right. All of a sudden, I was an actor. All of a sudden, people were like combing my hair. Letting me wear makeup and not laughing. I need some more blush. I was like, and I've been supporting myself, my family, my other family, since 1985 as an actor, and I owe that directly to Alcoholics Anonymous. If it wasn't for Alcoholics Anonymous, I would not have even been there. If it wasn't for going to meetings, if it wasn't for that damn camping gear, I wouldn't even have been there. Doing exactly what we're doing. Showing up. That's all. Showing up. I love that, man. Wherever the hand of an alcoholic reaches, something like that, be there. It's just pretty simple. So that I can understand it. If somebody calls you a pad, remember the camping gear. And it's like, and that was me. It's all I've done for the past 28 years. That's all I've done. I tried to work these steps to the best of my ability. I tried to work these principles, and it's like things just keep happening, And they said it. They said, Danny, if you stay clean, your life will get progressively better. My life's a dream. You understand? I've got friends in my life today. I've got like Wayne and Eric and people that will go to the wall straight out. Just let's go to the wall. Just straight out. People that I would be willing to leave my kids with. You know what I mean? Straight, hey, and I don't trust my kids to anybody. And it's like, and here's two guys with similar backgrounds like mine, and we're like, ace deuces. We're like, I want to thank Rob and the committee for inviting me down here. I want to thank my two best friends, Wayne and Eric, and I want to thank this program. See, I want to thank this program for giving me a life. Do you understand? Not my second chance. Not my life. Do you understand? When I walked into the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous, I think something happened. I think what happened was that somebody said, "Danny, this is it. You know, make it here or die." That's that curse. Die. Go insane or go to jail. Now, we all know what jail is, man. Insanity, we've all been there. You know, some of us are still there. You know, it's okay, you see. It's all right. But like the longer I stay sober, it's like the more, it's like I understand this thing. I understand the people, for me, it's like the more I can say, I don't know, it's like the better off I am. It's like every time I go to a question and answer meeting, it's like, I love it when they reach into the basket and they pull out, okay, the first question, 5 hands. And everybody under there has under a year. And because I don't have any answers today. You know, I don't have no answers. I got a lot of opinions. I have no answers. I mean, I have an 8-year-old son that I cannot argue with. I'm telling you. I mean, my bottom line is, I'm the dad. It's the bottom line. Then okay. In other words, I'm smarter than you, right? And he walks away. You know, see. And he will tell me, I know how to work the computer and you don't. You know? My 6-year-old daughter, thanks to Eric, knows how to turn on the damn work the computer. You know? If you're new, you go to a lot of meetings. You understand? You go to meetings. And every time, I'm like a people watcher. I'm just a total straight out people watcher. That's what I do. I watch people. And every time they come back, I ask them stuff. See? When they've had one of those slips. See? When they had one of those slips, I ask them. I go, hey, dummy, come here. What step were you working just before you went out? Let me know. Now, nobody has ever told me, Danny, I was working step 3. I was into 3. I was really working. I was getting ready for my inventory. I had a pencil. I had a tablet. I was really into it. I walked out. God struck me drunk. No one has ever said that. If anybody ever does, I go, later, screw step 3. I'll never work that sucker again. Nobody's ever said that. See? People talk about, I kind of got away from the steps, Danny. So the mental note is, don't get away from the steps. Try them. Stick close to them. Now, I don't got to work them better than anybody. And I've watched a lot of people in competition. I've watched people I'm on the 4th level of the inventory. What? I wrote down some stuff. See? And that was it. Shared it. And that was it. See? But nobody's ever said that. Nobody's ever said I was really working the steps. I got away from the steps. Don't get away from the steps. I see somebody else just back. Come here. What meetings were you going to? I swear to God, lately it's like people have been saying, Danny, the meetings got too social. I go, come here. I'm going to give you 2 addresses. And these 2 meetings are very unsocial. One is in San Quentin, the other one's in Folsom. You like them. Son of a bitch. See? I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. I've walked into meetings, looked around, and everybody just looked too serious. Let's go to another meeting. And gone to another meeting. And I thank God I have that choice today, see? Thank God. I can't get too serious. Only thing I get serious about is my son and daughter and my others. That's all. You understand? That's all. God gave me this job. He says, watch these kids, man. And with your dumb, just watch. And you see me chase them around. Come on, honey, please. Put this, please, it's sunblock. Honey, please. No, Daddy, I don't want it. You know? Please. You're making your father cry. Okay. I used to be a killer. I'm telling you. I used to be a tough guy. I did, man. Please, sunblock, please. I'll give you $1. My 80-year-old, if I try sunblock on him, don't, not even go there, Dad. If you're new, you go to a lot of meetings. Go to a lot of meetings. Try not to take yourself too seriously, I mean, because you got to remember that most of the things that come out of your head is doo-doo. I mean, I hate to say it. I got 28 years sober, and I'm barely, like, not a whole lot of doo-doo anymore. I doing, just some, And I absolutely love this program. That's all. It's like I have nowhere to go. Everybody that I associate with is clean and sober. Do you understand? Everybody that I associate, I don't even really like people that drink and use. And I don't mean that, that I don't like. I just don't choose to associate with them. It's like, I like watching them. Really, and they're fun. They're fun to watch them. And it's like you watch them at 10 and they're like so cute, you know what I mean? And you watch them at 11 and they're even cuter, And then you watch them at 12:30 and they're throwing up, So you had a chance, babe, you missed it, Like, God, man, you know what? I can't tell you enough, man. There's absolutely no reason to leave. Now we'll make up all kinds of excuses, but I have absolutely no reason, And it's like, because of Alcoholics Anonymous, a lot of our children have a chance. A lot of our children have a chance. I don't mind, dude. God bless you. Thank you very, very much.